Hey everybody, Modern World Emporium here, and for today's video we're reacting to a short story from Hit the Bricks or Strong Successful Male. Please like and subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll leave a link to his video in the description, so let's get into it.
A good quick post about a guy who's really wondering if he's the a-hole. He's a big jerk for dumping his girl after she crossed a boundary that he made abundantly clear, I guess, some time earlier, and she goes ahead and does the thing again. And she obviously is not too happy about the whole thing. And I'll be going to go over here, not too long, like I said, how guys, you need to set boundaries in your relationships. Things that are just, no, not gonna work with you if you're gonna stay in the relationship. And if your girl is aware of this and crosses it anyway, probably to test you, you got every right to terminate the relationship and say, nope, not happening, not staying with you. Because if you don't, that's going to be seen as weakness, and guess what? There's going to be more BS. And of course, a guy has the right, just like a girl has a right, to end a relationship with a guy without having to give any reasons or anything like that. Because we all know darn well, the gals will dump guys like that. Sometimes they're the most petty, ridiculous, superficial nonsense you can come up with. Titled, "Am I the a-hole for not telling my girl that flashing was a breakup offense?" And a shout out to Drew for sending this short one in.
Before we even get into the story, I have to agree here. Men are allowed to break up with a woman for any reason they so want. And I'd go as further as to say they don't even have to explain it to the woman or owe them an explanation. This woman here in the story clearly broke some kind of boundary that was set between them as a couple, thinking that it was hilarious and she'd get away with it, more than likely because she's a woman. And now she is going to pay the price. Let's continue.
He says, so earlier this year, my girlfriend flashed a band during a concert. One of those, huh? Yeah, no. No thanks. I don't want the girlfriend showing her boobs to the world. This bothered me a lot, and I told her I heavily disliked it. She apologized and told me she won't do it again. Okay. Right here. He made it clear as day. I don't like you doing that. You're not going to do that crap with me. It's just immature stuff. And she obviously sounds like a free spirit doing that stuff at the band. So during Halloween last night, we went to a party and she went wild and flashed some strangers. Nope, goodbye. Girls get crazy when they go to rock concerts and the bands and all that, and no, that ain't cool. But now at a Halloween party, really? For all you know, some freaking 7-year-old saw her and they're like, whoa, look at the boobs. No, not cool. I didn't say anything right then and there, but once I took her home, I mentioned if she remembered our talk about the flashing. She said she did, but just got caught up in the moment. Caught up in the moment? That's what she does when she gets caught up in the moment?
This poor guy here. It seems like the trash is simply taking itself out. He had asked his woman from a previous event to please never expose herself like that ever again. The fact that he even gave her a second chance from that is actually ridiculous, in my opinion. He made a bad move by doing that. And what a shocker, she decided that because she got away with it the first time, she absolutely could get away with it the second time. And let's be real, if he forgave her this time, she'd be doing it again and again and again, and maybe even escalating these actions until they're so grotesque that there's just absolutely nothing he can do except break up with her. But like I was saying, he really should have broke up with her after the first flashing, because it makes no sense to me that he would allow her to cross a line like that. Let's continue.
You don't see him flashing his you-know-what when he gets caught up in the moment. And guess what? Those boobs are meant for me, not for the whole world to see. I told her that we were done. I think she was caught off guard. Well, I guess she's got to get caught up in the moment and flash her boobs at you to change your mind. She tried to explain herself, and she told me she didn't know I'd break up with her over this, and if she knew that it was a breakup worthy to me, she never would have done it. He didn't have to spell it out to her, I will break up with you if you do this again, but he made it clear I don't like that. And her action shows she doesn't care what he thinks. Let's just see if he'll check me. I walked out, but the last thing I told her was I don't want to threaten the relationship or give out ultimatums. He says, FYI, I don't feel bad for breaking up with her, but I'm questioning if I should have explicitly said I'd break up with her back when we first had this conversation. No, you didn't need to do that. That was obviously, if she had remote level of common sense and intelligence, would understand that. She could certainly use that as a way to get away with this, but no. It was as obvious as it can be. But here's the thing, dude. You don't owe an explanation. It's not like when people like try to, things don't work out within the first year of marriage, so they get an annulment, and usually it needs to like be certain things that to annul the marriage. You don't need that to break up with a girl, and girls certainly don't use that to break up with guys.
It's really upsetting to me that even after she committed a wrongful act, he is still sitting here acting as if he is in the wrong for ending things with her. And this is the type of brainwashing that social media does to weak-minded men in society. We always talk about how social media is constantly brainwashing women into thinking they're the greatest thing on earth, that they are literally God themselves. But social media oftentimes aims for the polar opposite with men. It aims to break them down, make them weak-minded, make them weak-minded and physically weak, as well as it constantly attacks their masculinity. This man would have been much better had he just cut things off after the first incident, but because, in my opinion, he is so brainwashed by society and what the media and social media tells him, he simply thought it was rude, almost from what it sounds like, to leave her. And that's just ridiculous.
We all know, maybe some of you guys watching this have been broken up with for some of the dumbest reasons possible, or just kicked to the curb, no explanation at all. One day everything seems cool, the next day, done, she's gone, nothing. So why does a guy have to give a big explanation? No, she knew you didn't like that, she was testing you, or she didn't care. And what you said went one ear out the other. But the other thing is this, I think it's also a level of maturity. She's obviously a child. She's an example of how gals are today. And if she likes to flash her boobs, different occasions when she gets caught off guard, what do you think she's doing on TikTok or Instagram or other things like that? There could be a whole lot going on. What is she doing on girls' night when you're not around? Seriously. So no, you're not the a-hole, and you had every right, and she should have, as an adult, understood that ain't good. That's what I think. And so guys out there, you got a girl that you have a boundary, you have an issue with, and she crosses it, you can end it with her, because it ain't going to work. You're not compatible. I'll read a few comments here, because the comments are all on his side.
Yeah, incompatible is probably definitely what I would describe this as she clearly values taking risks far more than her relationship. I would even go as far as to say she values the public attention that came with that risk far more than her relationship, to the point where she quite literally disobeyed a direct order, per se, from her boyfriend. I don't even call it that. It's more so him telling her that something is just making him really uncomfortable and kind of being like, hey, this has got to stop. And instead of just doing the right thing, she says, fuck you, and moves on. It's really, really upsetting. And there's way too many men out there that tolerate this kind of shit, allowing their girlfriends to constantly walk over them, making them a permanent doormat.
One guy says here, it just shows your incompatibility. You think exposing yourself to others is not okay? She thinks it's perfectly fine, especially when drinking or doing festivities. The incompatibility and lack of respect for your feelings are two really giant reasons for the breakup. You don't have to work through that. Another one says, not the a-hole. Which is it? Either she got caught up in the moment, or she made a conscious decision to disregard your already discussed boundary that she would have blown off if she had known it was a breakup worthy. That statement means she knew in the moment that you'd be pissed off and chose to do it anyway. That's exactly it. Yeah, either she has no self-control, just, ooh, the boobs, pay attention to me, or let's see if he's gonna, what is he gonna do? Another one. How long until you catch her in bed with someone else at a party or just in a concert bathroom doing things she shouldn't because she just got caught up in the moment, huh? People like that know what they're doing. They just enjoy the attention they get from it, and they can't stop like it's an addiction. Well, attention and validation to women is like plants needing sunlight and water. They can't function without it. Or shall I say most. But all like the attention and validation, but in degrees. And one more. Not the a-hole. It's funny how people are walking on eggshells in the comments saying, you don't have the same values. FYI, flashing tits is not a value, it's trashy behavior. And even worse, if she's in a relationship, imagine having a daughter with someone like that. What kind of value is this to teach her?
And that last point that he made in the video right there is actually one of the scariest ones that I'd like to touch on before we end the video. Having a daughter with this type of woman will pass these horrific values down to the next generation of women as well. Because let's be real, if the mother is so okay with flashing tits and exposing herself in public, you know damn well she will tell her daughter that it's related to her body, her choice, and she can do whatever the fuck she wants, even if that means making your boyfriend uncomfortable by exposing yourself to many, many other men in public. Women do not care about your feelings. They are completely selfish in this regard and think they are always right about everything. And that is why you need to vet your woman before you marry her or date her. Either way. With that, we're going to cut the video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and go check out the original video as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.